Welcome to the 5 on 5. We are pleased to be joined today by Bob Russell, owner of the Butte Creek Mill. Bob, thanks so much for being here after the busy holidays.
It's great to be here. I appreciate being invited.
It's really hard to believe that it has been a year since the Butte Creek Mill went up in flames. Tough time.
It was a tough time. Christmas morning at 4:12 a.m. the call came in, and my life has been turned upside down ever since.
Talk to us about the process of taking that all in and then making the decision to say we're going to rebuild. It was kind of a quick turnaround to go from it burned down to we're building
Christmas
this thing
Eve,
again.
we're in there celebrating getting our first day off on Christmas Day, and at 4:12 all of that went away, of course, and it's been nonstop ever since then. But it's all been good, really. It really has. 2016 was a great year. Learned a lot. Grew a lot, and learned a lot about community and fire departments and things like that, and how many wonderful people there are out there.
And it was just about 24 hours that you said, we're going to rebuild this thing.
Yes, I did.
What made the difference?
Well, when I got up the next day and went over to the mill, it was obvious that the lower level, the basement level of the mill, had actually survived pretty well. And I could stand in front and just picture those hand-hewn timbers and walking up the steps again. And what's the big deal replacing hand-hewn timbers and some planks? And so I really felt like if there's any way possible, if we can raise the money, we're going to rebuild.
Okay. Since then, you've had an outpouring of support both from the community and from some nationally known names. Talk a little bit about the support.
I tell you, it's been just overwhelming, all of the people that want to help. And, you know, it feels good for people to help. And the mill was very uninsured. So I'm handing over ownership of the mill to the Butte Creek Mill Foundation. Well, I'll be president of the foundation, so I can kind of shepherd it through the process. But we need to have a nonprofit foundation in order to raise funds to try to rebuild. And speaking of raising funds, it wasn't maybe 24 hours when I got a call from Jim Belushi's people, and he said, what can we do to help? Because he'd been into the mill many times. And he suggested maybe doing a concert, and I thought, well, sure, why not?
Who am I to tell you no?
Yeah, and the concert was just fabulous. It was one of the great events that Eagle Point has had, I think, in 100 years.
Wow. Well, we've got a lot more to talk about as far as a timeline and the money that can be raised and how people can help out, but we're going to take a quick break.
Good.
We'll be right back. Welcome back. We are pleased to be joined again with Bob Russell from the Butte Creek Mill. Bob, thanks so much for spending some time with us.
Great to be here.
The mill will be rebuilt.
Yes.
You're still in the fundraising phase at this point.
Yes.
How long do you think it will take to have that thing back in operation?
People ask me all the time when we're going to get started rebuilding, and of course I say as soon as you write me out a check for $2 million, we're there.
There you go.
So it's going to take some time. Now we have about $250,000 in the bank from people that have donated funds for different fundraisers and things like that. That's pretty good. We need to be a 501c3. We technically are, but we haven't had our letter arrive yet from IRS that we can take that letter and go to the foundations that are throughout the country that want to help with historic preservation and things like that. Okay. So we have a board in place, we have all of the tools in place, we have grant writers that are going to be working on it, but until we get that letter, we're expecting it on the 29th of December.
Okay, and that will hopefully help things move along.
That's when we can start asking from foundations for bigger dollar amounts, because unfortunately we're just not going to be able to do it with garage sales and bake sales and things like that. We need to have some large
It's a big
chunks.
chunk of change.
Yep.
Now, as far as what the mill will look like, will it be an exact copy of what it was? Will it be more modern?
Well, that actually is a big combination a little bit. However, the one thing that I'm very, very firm on is that when you walk in that door, you have to feel 1872. We've had the entire mill scanned and overlaid with photos, so we know within 1/100 of an inch where every board and window was, and every board and window has to be in the same place. And so we're going to do that. I wouldn't be involved if it was going to be any other way. So it will look 1872, and our millstones are in good shape. The water coming into the mill from Little Butte Creek on our mill race is in good shape. Everything is going to be ready to go. We just need the shell on top.
Going forward, how can the community help in this process?
Well, they can always keep in touch by way of buttecreekmill.com, because on that website there's volunteers, there's gift giving, things like that. And some people might have abilities to, they might be grant writers, for instance. We can use grant writers all the time. So if they go to buttecreekmill.com, they'll find out where they can help.
Okay.
And everybody's welcome.
And if anybody has that $2 million sitting at home, they're
Yes.
more than welcome to just write over that check.
Indeed, indeed.
And is that the best place to get any information or any updates?
It is. I mean, my cell phone is on the website. They can call me personally if they'd like. That's just fine with me. I just am happy to talk about the mill and rebuilding the mill at any time. It's going to just be identical. And we'll probably have some battles to battle with codes and things like that, but we think that there's, with our National Historic designation, there might be a little bit of leeway on some areas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Bob, thank you so much for your time and for coming in. We really appreciate
Well, it's
it.
great
Thanks for
being here,
being
Christine.
here. We'll be right back.